Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action. In the left-hand corner of the map, it's everyone's favorite Ra player, Recon. No, just favorite player in general, right? No, he's up against everyone's other favorite player in the red color, playing as Fuji. It is Kvoth. We're on the map Watering Hole, and this one comes to you from the community of Twitch chatterinos who said this game was an absolute banger. I'm excited to watch this one. I haven't seen a China versus Egyptian game in quite a while. From all accounts that I've been seeing, in my recent memory, has been a lot of Egyptian favored shenanigans in this matchup, specifically for Set and for Isis. However, for Ra, it's a little bit of a different story because you run out of gas just a little bit. Like you don't have the pushing power that say an Isis or a Set has, because they have that boosted economy from either prosperity or from the animals of Set, or not even boosted economy, but just like you have more stuff, basically. And I think maybe it's not even boosted economy for Isis. Let me reset a little bit. Set has boosted economy in military from animal conversion. And that can help you boost either your food income to hit some better timings, or increase your military strength to also increase your timings. You have both options. Isis has got the monument protection, which basically prevents the China player from getting off a really nice Great Flood. And that's where the China kind of levels the playing field, so to speak, and then maybe is able to push back against all of those really strong timings. But yeah, Ra doesn't have either of those. Ra gets the empowerment in the main base, which is nice, gets a little bit of extra early game economy. You know, you could arguably say that this sort of empowerment does actually net Ra enough economy that it's almost similar to a prosperity, for example. You're getting more or less time building a temple, so that's more time gathering the gold mine. All the houses that you build, so long as they're in empowerment radius, is less time spent building the houses, which is more economy. You've also got, obviously, the berry bushes, which gather faster, so that's also more economy. So there is an argument there that maybe, just maybe, Egyptian or Ra has got a similar amount of resources to, say, a Isis. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes. I think that the main issue here is that there's not really a nice way to play around Great Flood, and there's not that really massive timing attack that Set has with all the animals of Set for Ra. So we'll see what Recon's plan is going to be. But we are seeing Kvoth going through Zhan Nu, which seems to be a little bit of a less popular pick, actually, for the Chinese. And I'm not exactly sure why. I feel like this god 9 times out of 10 actually has got more value than, say, Hao Tu or, say, Chi Yao. Of course, Chi Yao has got the value against Norse, but against everyone else, I really, really like this Zhan Nu pick, as it looks like, is Kvoth going for a town center? He's such a town center fiend. I would be surprised if he doesn't, as he now starts wandering over there. He's got food over here. He's got gold over here. In fact, Recon could probably be thinking about doing some sort of a shifting sands here and causing some massive problems. The monument, oh, not the monument, but the obelisk does get knocked down, and, well, now that's going to be a town center. And I guess this is another thing here that's advantage Set over Ra, in that Set could basically drop the vision and guarantee have some threat to take out this town center. Now, on the other side, you can also argue, well, with Zhan Nu, you have Vanish, so your villagers are going to be completely fine to keep building, but whether or not you can outpace the damage that's going to come onto this town center, I don't know. But Recon takes the advantage here, in my opinion, by simply just moving forward and taking this middle town center. He has the Rhino over here. He does have a backwards gold mine, but he does have to be thinking about walling this all off, and the Chillin will come forward and check this out. Get a little bit of damage done. The Wadget's in to get some revenge fire through, so it's not going to be all too much of a big deal. But scouting from Kvoth, confirming exactly what's to come next. Now, this is the thing about China, and it's the thing that is quite difficult, I think, for most players to grasp. But China is, for all intents and purposes, when you play 2TC, a reactive civ. Everything you do with China, and it doesn't even matter which god you pick, everything you do with China is reaction. Now, Kvoth's playstyle with China is all about getting to Cav, but even so, he's still only going to rush for Cav after he scouts, after he understands what's coming. If Recon played a one town center sort of all in here with Ra, he would have to be thinking about doing something else. And we see an Imperial Academy coming down for Kvoth just in case, get himself out a Nijar. But when he sees 2TC, that generally means, great, I can probably just go Heroic Age. And the safest way to get there is to just wall up and effectively just all here and here. You just wall up, and any sort of barracks units or spearmen that Recon can make here is going to be nice. And Kvoth gets a massive amount of damage. I don't know what Recon's thinking trying to get onto this gold mine. It's not an important gold mine. Sitting underneath the town center and eating the hunt here while just mining this home gold is perfectly reasonable. And Recon goes for a third town center. Now, this is different. This is not what you would expect here. From Kvoth. Like, if I'm playing Kvoth's perspective, I sort of expect to see a 2TC fast heroic from the Ra. A 3TC from Recon is very, very offbeat. Nice. Oh, he gets a little bit owned on this one, it seems, as he's trying to kill off the animals outside so that there's no safe food here, but the animals do die underneath the town center as the Nijar comes through, takes out the Wadjet, and little bits of an attempt of healing, but that's not going to happen. And now the main base can be under threat. Recon doesn't have the walls, doesn't have any protection here just yet. He's moving over onto this side. There's a lot of damage that Kvoth can do with just a little bit of units here. And Kvoth, he's going to be potentially seeing this town center up onto this top side, and he's going to be able to make another decision. But he's now effectively under the pump here because, well, the longer it takes for him to react to a third town center, the more difficult it is to actually deal with that. As the villager gets into the town center, Recon might be able to get that one to stay alive with some healing here. He's got to be quick on it. Let's see if he goes for it. He doesn't go for it. That's unfortunate. He definitely could have got that villager alive with some healing. But nice snipe there from Kvoth. But he still hasn't scouted the third town center. He's got no idea what's going on. That's going to be tough. And he does go through Gormang, not going through that new bar to try and shove it down the middle and get a lot of value early on. It's a little bit difficult to actually make work, but in this specific situation, I actually maybe Kvoth might pick new bar here like half the time. If you notice that was a 3 town center, half the time he might go Gormang. I don't really know, but he is in love with the Chinese white horse cavalry and also the late game with Gormang plus Gong Gong is so good versus Ra, which I'll touch on a little bit later, but you just imagine that Kvoth loves the cavalry unit more than anyone else in this world, and he is going to be attempting to grab that as his army does have to run away from these spearmen. And, well, Kvoth has forced out the spearmen, but this almost looks like Recon went fast heroic and then built spearmen, but he hasn't clicked up yet. So Kvoth might be thinking something's a little bit off here. Still, but he just still doesn't know. He still has no idea. So the economy for Recon should be absolutely stonking here. He is only in front by 4 villages, but being in front of China villager count as Egyptian tends to be an incredibly big thing because half of the villages, well, not even half of the villages, more than half, actually, yeah, about half the villages are working at a slower rate than the Egyptian villages are because there's empowerment going on. They're about the same actually, but they're working at a slower rate because there's empowerment going on basically. Anyways, segment that got a choice here for Recon, and I kind of want to see Recon in this specific situation because there's so much food on the map. I want to see Recon wall the entirety of the map up, and I want to see Recon go for Elephant Slinger. And of course, Kvoth is going to be going into White Horse Cav, so basically building some spearmen out as well is not a terrible idea. But because you've got the walls, you should be okay to play around a mobile army while pushing, right? So the idea is you wall everything up. The White Horse Cavalry will charge around the map, do what they can. But you are mostly going to be able to slow them down and be able to push them with your siege elephants. The slingers as well, we're going to have the slings of the sun and the electron bullets technology. But yeah, they obviously don't have a huge amount of value unless any infantry come out, but you can't beat elephant with White Horse Cavalry, so the halberdier need to be made, which then makes the slingers very, very powerful. So maybe you could go into spearman elephant here as an idea. Look at the resources in the back. Spearman elephant for the start, and then start mixing in the slingers a little bit later. But yeah, the most important part is to actually manage to get up all these walls and potentially also get himself stone walls just to put a big stunt in the White Horse Cavalry raiding efforts. And nonetheless, Recon doesn't look like he's actually building units. He's getting upgrades for his spearmen, so he might be considering staying in the heroic age, but he might also be considering going mythic age. Now, the other reason why elephant makes a lot of sense here is because this Gong Gong is coming for Kvoth. 2TC, fast mythic, does make a huge amount of sense versus what Recon's doing, because the spearmen are going to get mowed down by the Great Flood. And then life is going to be really good. But let's just say, for example, here, that Recon went into elephant. If you get Great Flooded with the elephant, guess what happens? They go from like 500 HP down to like 400 HP. It's not that big of a deal. And then your elephant are in position to take down, say, a ballet. So yeah, there is a world here where this makes a perfect amount of sense. Of course, the game plan for Kvoth, and he is going to be going for it very, very hard, is to get to Tiger Cab. Now, I said I was going to bring this up, so time to bring it up. You grab the Hooves of the Wind, you grab your Tiger Cavalry tech, and then you effectively just go, well, not your Tiger Cavalry tech, it's called Last Stand. And then you go full Tiger Cav plus full Water Dragon. And that will completely dominate anything that Recon can do here. There is, with the exception of potentially like Son of Osiris and really, really good micro, you can't kill off those water dragons, those Qinglong, with your opponent having amazing micro, because they just move in, they do the special attack, they run or fly away, and then your very slow priests don't do much. Your chariot archers don't do a huge amount. You can't build them anyways because of the Tiger Cab. Your spearmen don't beat the Tiger Cab anymore because they take so much damage from the Qinglong that the Tiger Cab actually will end up being able to trade resource efficiently versus those spearmen. But nonetheless, the Scarab coming through, the heroes are in already, and a Sage as well, so that's going to be too much for Recon to make this push work. In fact, there goes the Mythic Age as well, as teenage Najjar turns into adult Najjar, and life is good. Another Migdol up for Recon, and he goes straight up to Champion Spearman. So it looks to me like Recon is going to attempt, and he is happily playing into this, so maybe he knows more than I do, but he is going to be attempting to make the Champion Spearman work versus the Qinglong Heavy Tiger Cav. That's the game plan here. So we'll see if it's going to work as the units diving in onto this position. These spearmen trying to take out a Zhuan Wu is a wild attempt. It takes so long for this to happen, as we do have the Great Flood getting dropped down. Spearmen do end up dropping down from 123 HP all the way down to 40 HP. So there goes, like 80 damage total there. And you can see what I mean. If those were all elephants, 80 damage onto an elephant doesn't feel as bad as 80 damage onto a spearman. Nonetheless, the entirety of this position, is going to be going down. And Kvoth, he does manage to hit a fairly nice timing after all is said and done. But the Son of Osiris comes through. Can he actually end up taking out the myth units before the Migdol? No, does not manage to do so. Son of Osiris continues to get damage done. And now the next part here for Recon, very important. He's got to get his farms down, and he has to start spamming Rains. Rain does cost a decent amount on the recast, but it's well worth it to drop 2 or 3 reigns in a game because of the bonus food that comes in. And that's going to help him get his units back out and like equalize on this position. Meanwhile, Kvoth, he's only behind a tiny amount of villagers here. And that's kind of credit to the Kvoth spammage that he's been doing. He's got 12 of them. He can't really afford to spam any more of those because he needs to invest every little bit of favor into Qinglong. One thing here that you can also do, which is obviously very, very strong, is use your Sage to actually heal up said Qinglong. It's 7.5 HP per second, and it's, I believe, 3... No, it's just 1 unit. There's a technology you can grab for multiple units there, but I don't believe it's available to Fuxi. I think it's available to Shennong. So yeah, no specific healing, but yeah, he can heal up the Qinglong and he can just basically attempt to keep them alive forever, which is the game plan. So 2 or 3 sages, every Qinglong you can possibly build under the sun, and then full heavy target cav is the game plan for Kvoth right now. And you can see Kvoth, he is already working towards his farms. He's got 23 farms placed. He also grabbed this other technology, as you can see from the houses around the map. They spawn out one of these trees. I can't even say what that is. Metasequoia? I don't know. But they spawn out those trees. And also the wood gatherate goes through the roof, but you really don't even need wood gatherate to win the game. You just need food, but you need the wood to get the farms down, and it kind of all just works through. The game plan makes perfect sense from the Kvoth perspective, as he has managed to get himself up to quite a nice amount of units. I'm surprised to see him actually attacking here. Generally speaking, he's going already up to champion cav, but generally speaking, you could just sit back and just allow your favored land and favor gatherate to carry you through to build up all of the Qinglong you possibly can. But of course, any little bit amount of damage here will distract out the Kvoth army. As long as you don't lose anything, you're in a perfectly fine place. As now the second reign gets dropped down, and look at the food for Recon now. He needs a trade route started, and that's exactly already happening. So perfect play. He's got himself his champion spearmen. Camel riders are not a worthwhile spend here for Recon. They just aren't. They don't beat the Tiger Cav, even with double upgrades. They don't, and Recon's only got the 1 available to him. There's just no point in building that unit here. So let me do some quick math here. We got 16.8 times 1.5, so you're going up to 24, right? Or just 25 maybe. On the other side, you have 20. Plus, this guy's got more hack armor, more HP, same pop. Of course, the Camel Rider is a tiny bit cheaper, but end of the day, it's not going to matter. The resource cost efficiency is more of an early game, feature. The population efficiency is more of a late game feature. Of course, if you can't afford to continue to spam out your army, if it's like that expensive, and you're only winning by a tiny amount of pop efficiency, then it doesn't matter. But in this case, you're winning by a lot of pop efficiency. So you're just going to trade really, really well here. But we'll see how it's all going to go as the Spearmen looking for some raids over onto this side. No stone walls from Kvoth. Maybe it's a bit of a thing on his economy, just not quite being there, but he now has the resources for it. No real excuses to not do it. As the Tiger Cav charging forward, Recon is trying to bait out that initial damage from the Qinglongs, but not able to do so. All of the damage comes down. All of the priests dying. He picks off 1 Qinglong only. That's got to feel, to be honest, that's got to be a feel-good moment, but he did spend about 1,200 gold to pick off that 1 Qinglong there, and the rest of his army does die as now the axe carts are coming through. Those are getting taken out quickly by the Son of Osiris, though, and this is going to be a tough citadel to actually crack. It's over onto this side now. Stone walls are up. Ballet does come through. Kvoth can repair up this wall and be perfectly fine here. But here's the thing. There's no units remaining. So even though this is a citadel, it's not going to do a whole lot versus that 42% pierce armor that Kvoth has here on these Tiger Cav. And he's going to be able to take down the citadel center very, very quickly. And that's brutal for Recon because that's his only real power point in this game. He's gone effectively the route of maybe getting to like 2-3 citadels to win this game in the late game. But now he's got 0 citadels. He is hitting some nice raids over onto this side as Kvoth gets caught out. Nice find from Recon, but there is a ballet there for him to run to. There is also the forest protection helping the villagers get a little bit of regen here, and a raid that probably could have done insane damage. Really doesn't get much happening as the front base of Recon is now going to be falling. Meanwhile, the favor coming up here is Qinglong numbers. He's got back up to 3. They're only 24 favor. And you can probably get out 1 Qinglong every minute or so. So, yeah, every minute that passes is a more difficult position for Recon to actually deal with. Because, like, if you... Let's just do the quick math here. It does 80... Wait, excuse me. That's not correct. It does... What's the special? 35 times... Is that times 2.4? 35 pierce times 2.4 and an 8 area of effect damage radius, and it does the splash damage. So yeah, it's a huge amount of damage on those Qinglongs. Unless I'm wrong on that. Maybe it's only 35. Not sure. Anyways, it's definitely a huge amount of damage. So all of these Tiger Cav charging in here, and you guys look at this going, hang on, those are spearmen. Why aren't the spearmen beating the Tiger Cav? And I'm like, well, the spearmen have 0 upgrades that are helping in this fight, and they're also fighting with about half the HP that they normally would. That's the actual answer. So it's not that Recon is building... It's not that Kvoth is just ignoring the fact that there's spearmen here. He's countering the spearmen with his Qinglong. And he's ensuring that Recon doesn't have an option to build anything else, because the only unit that beats the Tiger Cav for at this stage for Ra is the Spearman. So here's the game plan, in my opinion. We got to sit back, we got to get damage done onto the Qinglong, and we have to limit that number of Qinglong before we take the fight. Or we force out the special, it is a 20-second special. We force out the special, then we charge in and take the fight, just like Recon did there. And we're good to actually get some damage done. Let's have a little quick look at when the special comes back. But the problem is the special comes back up, the damage comes back down, and, well, Recon has to pull back. But as soon as that special is done, we probably should be looking to fight. But that being said, there's now a ballet here. Recon doesn't want to take any super bad fights for the moment, as he is now going up to Desert Wind. He's also going to be having himself some catapults to try and push back. Towers coming through as well, as the damage here is just so... And control from Kvoth is just so good. The one thing I want to see from both players here is always utilizing the water on watering hole. Over onto this side, over onto this side, start spreading out. What Kvoth can do now is, because he's got his full population army, he's actually not spending on a whole lot of stuff. Of course, he's taking fights and things, and he has to replace his units, but he's not really spending on a huge amount of stuff. He's got to start spamming ballets. He's going for the towers, which is fine, but ballet spammage here is very strong. He's not got his watchtower upgrade either, but the spammage of buildings is going to be incredibly tough to beat. Let's just look at the difference in military resource value. 9.1k to 3.3k. As the priests are out, the other option here is you play defense here, right? For Recon. If he pops his spearman into the, or his priest into the Migdol, his spearman around the Migdol, then all of a sudden the Qinglong to come in and get their damage done, they have to come very close, and then the priest can pop out, and then they can actually get the damage done without dying straight to the champion Tiger Cav, and then you're good to go. But the army of Kvoth just not dying here. Incredibly powerful stuff. We've also got Tempestuous Storm to come through. We've got some more siege crossbows coming in. We've also got now the Force of the West Wind. We've also got champion camel riders for Recon. I still don't think that these guys at any amount will have a look. When that champion camel rider comes through, I think it's fully upgraded. He's missing iron weapon, iron armor, and same as Kvoth is though. So when that technology comes through, we'll have a little quick look. It's 14.4, so 29 damage versus the 30 plus damage, right? So, well, that's 17, that's 18, so 28 damage. So this is doing more damage. Yeah, this is doing more damage per second, and has more HP, and has more armor. So yeah, there's not the trading here for the Camel Rider is just not going to work in the slightest. Of course, the Camel Rider does tank a little bit better versus the pierce damage from the Qinglong, but it just loses even harder than it just loses too hard. So you don't have that option. And plus, there's also the secondary unit that comes in with Tiger Cavalry, which has an extra 65 HP on it. So you have to build Spearman. There's not Camel Rider don't make sense. Which does bring me back to the point of like going for Elephant and hitting the Fushi in a timing. If they're going to try and rush for this, you can kind of hit the Fushi in a timing attack where they're not ready to actually defend against it. That's probably the idea, so to speak. But nonetheless, we've got a silo to connect to the dock. That's funny. He's connecting all of his favored land for even more favor. You can see he's got 100 plus favor in now, so he can even go for a forest protection onto the fortified town center here if he wants to. Of course, it's a little bit risky because the catapults are out. Losing the town center would be not ideal, as the Tiger Cav. Were they sitting over here to heal? They absolutely were. He brought them back to the forest protection. This thing heals at what is it? What's the healing at? Someone help me out here. I know there's healing. What does it say? 3 HP per second. That's the same as a healing spring. Of course, it's a heroic age god power, but it's the same as a healing spring. Super value there as all of his units back up to full HP. Charging in to try and take out this army. He's got so much favor that it's not going to mind losing a Qinglong or two because he can just rebuild them. But of course, you don't want to just lose them. It's not really part of the game plan, as the army does manage to motor through all of this, and the town center comes back up over here, sitting behind the stone gates and everything else. There's a couple of watchtowers, guard towers, ballister towers, maybe might be enough to help against these Tiger Cap. It's just 61% pierce armor, 60% hack armor. That's just a ridiculous amount of armor. Like, wait, why does he have... Am I missing something? Is that from Last Stand? How does that work? Oh yeah, if he loses HP, he gets more armor. Right, so I don't know exactly what that means, but it just means he's got way more effective HP. That's what it means. These guys don't die. They have that Last Stand technology is insane. What's it at full HP? 50%, 51%. Crazy. And now we're going to start seeing the Zhang Wu coming through here from Kvoth as well. I'm not sure what the idea is here. He might just be having fun because he feels like he's in a pretty strong position. But these do have crush armor, so to a degree, they're able to do a split push and go after a town center and take it down slowly. Especially when your opponent is Egyptian and they have to defend it with priests. And you can't just spam out mercenary to deal with it. Some more towers are coming up. Guard towers is in now, so this is a little bit of a scary place for Kvoth to be sitting, and you can see Kvoth is respecting it. He pulls back. Without siege, it's going to be tough, and Recon is making a nice push back here. So tower spam, Migdal spam, and hold, of course, is going to be an option here. Recon will have to be worried about Kvoth building those axe carts and those other siege weapons as well. They can be very, very difficult to deal with. As another Qinglong does actually end up going down. And Kvoth maybe overplaying his strength here a little bit. And as Recon's pushed back, looking very strong here. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this is happening. You got the transport ship. He's going for an attack over here. But the Zhang Wu pop out, and they are going to be ready for something on that right side. So Kvoth's sacrificing a little bit of initiative here to make this attack work. He goes with the amphibious Nijar Zhuan Wu transport ship going to come in over onto this side, going after the villagers on the farms. I don't think that's really that important here. I mean, picking off the monuments to the pharaohs is obviously nice, but I don't think it's like super important for him to kill villagers here. He wants to kill the town center and set up on that position. Meanwhile, random ballet going on onto the left while the ballet is going on to the right here. The double side build is brutal because, like, you look at the minimap and you see, holy crap, there's all these units attacking me over here. Holy crap, there's a ballet over here. Oh, wait, I missed this ballet even though I've got all the line of sight in the world because there's just too much going on for you to sort of react to it all. But Kvoth does get spotted. Oh, actually, no, is that a wall? That's the wall going up. But Kvoth has not been noticed here. That ballet will be finishing. This ballet does finish as well as another ballet comes down. These Yuan Wu are slowly going down to the priests as the Najara is not microing correctly. This is the whole reason for him to be here, to kill off priests, to allow his Yuan Wu to take out all the HP on the town center. But nonetheless, in the middle here, more Qinglong are back in. The priests aren't on this position anymore, so the Tiger Cav can happily move in here. Meanwhile, onto the bottom side, we do have a forest protection getting dropped down. That's a big spend of favor on a position that's not going to be easy to defend here, as the catapults are going to be taking this out relatively quickly, and the villagers aren't in really to defend this anymore. I mean, he has 3 Kwafu, but still, it's not an easy defend on this side. Maybe he could bring the Qinglong up onto this position to defend it, but still, he's looking to try and break through here. Up onto this side, more military camps to come through. He can turn those into towers, attachments as well, and Recon with the side build coming in, with all of the mess happening, we still got resources in the bank, but it's just a bit too much of a mess here for him to deal with. After that pretty brutal side build, he does tap out, and a nice win from Kvoth. Interesting approach from Recon. You can kind of see that it almost works, but it just doesn't quite play around the strong game plan that Kvoth is playing for here. And I think the elephant idea, the elephant timing in the heroic age has to be the best idea for Ra, because not only is it a good idea in terms of playing around the Gong Gong, but also if it so happens that Kvoth or the Fuji player decides to play something different and actually does decide to play heroic age and hits your elephants, I still ask, what are you going to do if you stay heroic age here? Because I got slingers to deal with it. So I feel like you've got guaranteed damage, and then we're asking the question of whether or not the Fuji player can outplay us and play around the fact that we have slow speed with our army moving around the map and dealing with all of that. That kind of a question definitely exists. But the other thing is we also have shifting sands, which didn't actually end up getting used here by Recon, unfortunately. Not really any opportunity to do so, but there definitely is that inside of the elephant idea as well. But nonetheless, a well-played game here from Kvoth. Highest level of Age of Mythology being played at the moment. It's exciting to watch these guys go at it and all of the different sort of little nuances that come through in these guys' game plans. You can try these strategies here if you're struggling with China versus Egyptian, Fushi and Nuwa can do this type of a strategy that Kvoth has implemented and have a really, really good game. And if you're obviously struggling with the Egyptians in this matchup, try that Elephant Slinger Heroic Age timing push. Give it a go. You need the elephants, you need the slingers, maybe some siege, and just go. You should be able to hit the attack before any sort of Mythic Age comes through. If we have a quick look here at the where's my technology? At the Mythic Age, it's at 13 minutes. You got plenty of time to hit a 2TC fast heroic into an Elephant Slinger timing attack before 13 minutes. And then when the Mythic Age hits, you go, lol, I don't really care about the Great Flood because I've got elephants that can very happily tank 80 HP apiece. It's fine. It's not an issue. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.